see them put the pressure on Nearest Airport as soon as they possibly can. Sadly, we didn't get to see this game on main broadcast. It was on MCT Sports A when they competed in regular season, and Nearest Airport, the only team to have a close game against TSM so far, and it was on this map, bringing them to overtime. Today, they're looking for the win, but 7 with the opening pick.
There you go, 7 with the opening pick, and Calypso to retaliate right off the bat. Chamber and chamber action. And now the Astro Star not quite activated just yet. The suck just a little bit late. Sabrosa goes down. It's a bit of an unfortunate start to say the very least. And now Ori, nice little spot out, but Anderson just had to get the first shot off first. This time and space, TSM, well, they're kind of down on numbers and on defense. A retake or it's a hold site. It's going to be pretty damn hard.
Going to be very difficult, and we see the aggression not pay off once again as Nearest Airport may be prepared for this, but GMD going to be able to fight too.
Oh, okay. You hyped him up. I honestly thought he could have been good for more there. The third, surely. But sometimes that's just the way of life. You get those first two, and then the third and fourth, the bullets just don't go where you want them to.
They never
good
do.
Attempts, but yeah, man. Look, I think early in the round, they just lost too many players early on. It was a great initial engagements. And then things just started to go a bit lopsided.
A little bit lopsided. I will say Digital sadly didn't get to see the TSM FTX versus TSM FTX Academy matchup. And these pistol rounds, I'm always going to be on the edge of my seat. I don't care if it's a 1 versus 5 due to both Corey and Rossi having unbelievable moments within them in that series. So, you know, I thought we were going to see the pullback from GMD. Regardless, it's going to be the force round from NA. And we already see TSM back on that aggressive push-up here, trying to take space outside of mid.
Well, when you have a weak fight, just take the fight to them. Sometimes quantity of quality, but GMD first to go down. That's the Astra, and potentially that could be the Stars used to just stifle or hold back an aggressive push going to either side. So far, though, Nearest Airport taking it slow, regrouping, regathering the thoughts. But A side looks to be a pretty tasty target. So, Rosa, what do you have for us? Nice shots on Governor before the smoke pops. Looking for more. But unfortunately, the second shot does not get any value. But 7, he could be a game changer here. Just has to get past the Leviathan first, who does spot him out. And now he's in a lot of trouble, to say the very least. Gunshots all over the A side. Tip attack trace though. Corey for 2, still alive. The paint shells just before he dies. Post-mortem martyrdom. He gets a kill by the Leviathan. Last player standing. Finishes off 7 over towards Wine. That was the final battle that we saw. Took a while to get there. But regardless, 2 on the board right now for Nearest Airport.
2 on the board for Nearest Airport, but what an expensive round for them as TSM's aggression actually paid off due to the fact that we saw 7 sitting inside a Wine there. He was spotted out. It didn't matter. He didn't take that chamber TP, and he just decided to sit there and allow all of that pressure from NA to focus on him, and then every single teammate of TSM able to back up their teammate, making it so that was a very successful eco for them. Rossi going to be going into this round with the Odin in hand. We do love TSM's composition with that fade, swapping it out for Sova on Ascent, and it's for reasons just like this where that Odin could just rain down fire like we have seen so many times before. But there's those orbs that I was talking about earlier, Digital. Oh, he gets the ultimate off at the perfect timing, so he's still alive, but still gonna finish it off.
Long, here comes 7, 3, 4, 7, just picks it up. The first fire round for TSM. That's a flawless round. Initially, I was a bit afraid there was going on. Governor being forced to also expend the ultimate because of a level of util wombo combo. And that was just a massive blow across the board for Nearest Airport. Clean stuff by TSM.
An absolutely huge blow. The fact that he just took that pressure, they couldn't push in with that Odin. Rossi creating the pressure for 7 and just push in, clean it up with the 4K, the flawless round. The confidence is there. And TSM FTX on the board in a fashionable style. And look at that 4K lead 7, 1 away from that tour de force, and we saw Phoenix or Governor throw out that run it back the second he died, so it's no longer available going into this eco round.
Oh, the paint shells with the C's as well. It doesn't really catch anyone just yet, but Phoenix, a Governor, sorry, he's isolated. Corey going for more. Here comes 7 yet again. The spray transfer, leaving Leviathan on his lonesome, having to spray blind bullets through with the Odin, trying to catch something. And in retaliation as well, he gets a few bullets for his troubles, and the spike out of his grasp. I don't know, ZG. Maybe he's gonna have to go try go for a save. It's a pretty big gun to bring into the next round, especially considering after the 2 devastating rounds Nearest Airport have most likely lost. It's a massive blow to the economy.
It is a massive blow. I mean, he has that Odin in hand. It's an attempted save, but I kind of feel like TSM's gonna go on the run here. They're gonna try to find these kills because they're playing their economy really well. Even in that round 2 where they were able to take NA down, a smart play from Leviathan to wrap around, find that orb over on the A side, but we might just have a time battle here, and it's a smart play. He actually might be going back for the aggressive. He's even good for one more here. You sort of take it. I don't believe, and we will check later on, if he did buy this Odin. I'm not 100% sure going into this round, as it was sort of that half eco coming out for nearest airport due to the previous round loss, but some eco was still there, and we do see Sabrosa actually deciding to go in on this hunt. Don't know how much will come for it, as it is a risky play, but they kind of just have to assume. Yeah, Leviathan sitting in spawn. Sabrosa able to finish it off, and just like that, after a 2-round lead from nearest airport, you see the tables turn, and it's going to be TSM who ties this game up. Not only ties it up, but they're playing their economy so well. We talked about this with the academy team yesterday, is they really play their ultimate, or I apologize, their ultimate levels and economy so well throughout a game, and I feel like it's from that big brother. I feel like they're starting to take glimpses from TSM FTX here, because we're seeing it at its finest, as Rossi gonna be going in with that Odin once again. I guarantee Digital, he's just going to keep that pressure on B-side the entire game. It makes it just so difficult to push into, knowing that in the back of your head, that Odin spray could be coming at any moment, and you just don't want to take all that damage. You don't have to burn all the utility to push him away, and as I'm sitting here talking, Seven's just going to walk out once again and find an opening pick. Oh,
well, TSM, they do have a few tricks up their sleeves. Seven yet again getting another frag in the round. This guy's been hitting pretty hard to start this game, and Sabrosa as well, that little util piece over there. It's a stun and I believe aftershock to get one player down yet again. I think it was Governor for nearest airport, and nice read. They're on an eco. Could be his. 1 and 2. Sabrosa, yeah, charge up the ultimate, you know, send him out on a mission. Get that important Rolling Thunder online for later rounds when retakes may be a little bit more important. Taking his time, nice and steady as well. You can take the classic bullets. They're just basically potatoes and peas. One feed for Sabrosa, and we move into the next. TSM, they take the lead.
Digital, those words are going to come back and bite you. You know, those are just pea shooters in the end. We're going to see a right click that absolutely turns the tide in this game at some point or through the series. It always happens, and it's happened so many times in the Premiership playoffs so far, where for some reason Classic just showcases how strong you could truly be. But I will say it was an eco round for nearest airport. Sabrosa able to get a little bit more aim training in against those Classics, and we see a little bit of a turnaround here as Calypso, in my opinion, one of the most unique and top-in operator players in Valorant at the moment. He has just been such a heavy hitter in the Premiership and in other tournaments on this chamber pick. So now that he has these ops flowing into his hand, we might see a little bit of a change here when it comes to that first blood pick. And maybe because that economy flowing nearest airport's way, we finally see TSM FTX take that step back on a more patient approach.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose limes too early on. 7, he's going to rein in his aggression just a little bit. Guy's been like a madman, just running out there almost.
This is what
rounds.
NA, whenever we've seen them on Ascent, this is where they shine through. The showstopper.
Okay, and then the null command as well. Sabrosa was holding his null command. The showstopper initially, maybe just out of a gut instinct. Calypso has the right idea. Sabrosa goes down, one swing. Well, there you go. So far, not too bad for nearest airport. One ultimate and one player down.
This is,
well, technically 2 ultimates down.
Yeah, this is their bread and butter playstyle. You know, they burn that ultimate for an ultimate, but regardless, they're in a position where, you know, they could realistically just wait and see if TSM is going to try to gain info or just go for this quick A-side hit. But TSM stacked in the area. 7 at a unique spot here, might be able to find at least one, but they go for the heaven wrap.
Oh, GMD can't land the shots. Here comes Governor and Corey. Has so much to do along with the teammate on site. And 7's dead. It's all got the Corey now. 10 seconds, though. 10 seconds. Denied a spike plant. That's all he has to do. It's down. It was in Governor's hands. The blast back as well to boot them away. 7 seconds. Denied a D in the plant. That's all he has to do. Corey, 4 more. 3. But unfortunately falls the very last few seconds. Rossi now has a monumental task ahead of him. 1v2. There's the Haunt. Detects one player, but they may not know that he's this deep on site. Behind Gen, they're sticking next to each other. That's good, but that could also be the death of them. Recon arrow goes through. Rossi gets scammed potentially, but he is safe. Here's a classic you were talking about. Zichi, he may have been foretold, and indeed Rossi, the right click, clutches it out. TSM, oh my god, Corey and Rossi saves the day.
I say that's the Corey show. Yeah, we see Rossi clean it up, beautifully played. The intuition to just wrap around sight when he was given that time, and the right click obviously coming up so big. I knew that it was going to. I told you it was going to happen. Digital, beautifully played by Rossi here. Yeah, he's sitting at 20 HP, but that right click, it's such a unique gun. You have to love it and you have to hate it at times in situations like that. In our perspective, we love it, but if you're a member of Nearest Airport, you absolutely hate it. Major ultimates online for either side. The economy's still in a good spot, but we do see not only the divide and the Hunter's Fury available for Nearest Airport in a post-ban situation. It's really only Sabrosa who has that round-changing ultimate with the Rolling Thunder. So a potential back and forth with ultimate exchanges here. If NA could get onto site and maybe have that Sova sitting back and patient outside of main, it could be a different story here, and they might be able to find another one on the board, as once again, they're trying for that tree pressure.
Bit of a similar story. Corey, though, here we go again. Good for one. Good for one. And Governor with the instant clap back. Now, Governor, the runner back, he has it online. I'm not too sure if he just got it from that kill, though. Regardless, a very similar start to the previous round as well. Where's that shot dart going? Down mid? Maybe there's Usul there? There wasn't, though.
Rossi just doesn't move. He's such a good anchor over on this B side. Regardless of the pressure over on A, he's not going to make that move knowing that their rotation on Ascent is just too easy. They don't have that mid pressure due to the fact that Corey went down, and that's going to be the B side hit. We see the run it back, and we see the divide popped.
That's good. A seized and gravity well as well, just to keep Governor stuck for a little bit longer. The running back, it doesn't really clear sight. That's going to be a major issue for Nearest Airport. They've kind of made their way out, so there's a Cosmic Divide activated as well. And TSM, it's the whole squad. There's a conga line all the way towards Defender Spawn. Meanwhile, leaving Leviathan for a bit of a late play. The ultimate, he got hopped, but I don't think Sabrosa knows his back his turn. He does clear the angle, but unfortunately, Leviathan just had the better shot. Rossi's there to clean up the slack. And now 3v3. Nightfall comes through. Everyone should have been tagged. Maybe the players on back sight. Torn the Force getting shot out. GMD narrowly escapes with his life. And 7 just hoping Calypso swings his angle. The timer ticking away. TSM step by step. Just not unsure how to start this. They don't really have flashes. They need a pick. GMD, there we go. There's a start. Finally, Gravity Well. They can aggress onto the site. And Governor, he's just doing all the work, laying down the law. Calypso to finish off Rossi. Okay, I got a bit scared there. I thought maybe TSM had a way into that. No bias at all. But Nearest Airport had things under control completely.
They had it under control the entire time, and it comes down all those ultimates pulled. If you're TSM with economy still flowing through, you have to just prepare for a situation like that. We are going into a tactical timeout here in just a moment, as we do have a disconnect coming through. If we want to look deeper into this game, though, yeah, TSM sitting at 1 round above, but that was a big round for NA to steal from them. In the fact that for the first time, they decided to go for that A pressure and then swap it over to B. It put Rossi in a position with Corey dying early that he had to be outside of mid-market. He couldn't just be that B main anchor, even sit back boats waiting for the push. He was forced to gain information in multiple parts of this map, which we haven't seen him have to do before, and I guarantee Nearest Airport is going to consistently look for that pressure, because if they're able to find that early pick at mid-market, they potentially now know that that B site is sort of free to take, because I don't even think they needed to burn the divide as well as to run it back to even get there. Obviously, the information wasn't there for them, so it was a must pull, but they're going into this round with no ultimates now, as once again, economy just going to be evened out.
Hey, you know, sometimes it's just a bit of a safety blanket, and like you said, because Corey, he took the challenge early on and unfortunately did not escape, it forced Rossi to be in a bit of an uncomfortable position, and then Sabrosa, the one-man mission, the ultimate used, and didn't really get a lot of value out of it. He had the right idea, but, you know, sometimes things just don't go his way. Nevin, though, deep and dirty, doesn't get anything. The Aldrin flushes him out. Nice little heads-up play there by Leviathan, but TSM, look at that. 3 players all focused towards sure they know these past few rounds. How much Nearest Airport likes to go there at TSM. They're starting it off, and Corey has to get that shot to Calypso. I swear he was off the angle. Sabrosa, nice aftershock onto position yet again. Nearest Airport, they're bleeding a couple of players. Corey heads up, catches Anderson walking out. Spike is down on short. Last player standing. Leviathan dodges the little seeker. Okay, there's a world here in which he gets something big. Here's the jumping around, runs around to Rossi, claps him down. 3 more players.
Even farming his ultimate at this point is going to be beneficial for him. One more kill to go his way, and then long-term on the attacker side of this half, we saw him with a big ultimate that created pressure to lead them to a round win, so we might be able to see it once again, but that glass isn't destroyed. He's just going to have to wait for a member of TSM. And we've been in the same position before with Leviathan, which is the funny part, and I'm guessing, yes, it is, Sabrosa going to be the one to get sent into the front lines to try to go find the kill and make sure he's not saving that gun going into the next round.
And to charge up his Rolling Thunder as well. It's just one of those ultimates that really helps them in retake situations. But unfortunately, he took the kind of chance, look left, and there you go.
Yeah,
you said it.
It's that
Leviathan charges his ult up a little bit more.
Yeah, that 50-50 Leviathan now only 4 away from that Hunter's Fury, which long-term is going to be so beneficial for NA due to the fact they burn those ultimates to even find that one-round win that they absolutely needed, and it's still stacking towards TSM's way. GMD has that divide available. Corey with the showstopper. We did see Corey throw out that showstopper earlier in this game. Did not lead to much, but it created the pressure to actually funnel NA to that A site, leading them to a win, so it was beneficial in the end, as it was just a pressure creator, and it feels like at the top level, especially with these teams, that Raze ultimate is never used to find a kill. It's almost always to just create a little bit of pressure on either retake or post-plant situations, but we see a heavy stack towards B for the first time in a while for NA, and this is where we normally see TSM shine through a 7 on the aggress, and Anderson waiting for it.
Ooh, shoulder got spotted first in TSM. Well, 7, sorry. He got a couple of bullets for his troubles. Granted, it wasn't the worst thing of his life. 77, that's pretty workable. And yeah, just agree with you, you know? At higher tiers, the showstopper, it gets a little bit harder to use. The players there more capable of shutting you down, so it's really just all about the pressure and the what-ifs. Nice little curveball, Governor. And here we go, Corey! Just as I say that, it still gets nothing! But from beyond the smoke, he still manages to find Governor and Calypso with the frag back instantly. 7, there we go, finally strikes. Anderson's gone. That's the smokes out of the equation for nearest airport. This makes the job a lot harder later round.
Sabrosa in such a good spot, though. I think Precision has the intuition, though, but oh, this crack in the smoke might be able to find in the pick. They spot at each other. That's bomb down, revealed.
Here we go. Nice little coordination as well. The flash, the team flash. All right, fair enough. A little bit much, but regardless, TSM, they really stabilize and they pinch the remaining few players of nearest airport. Leviathan dead to rights there, and finally we are starting to see TSM, I guess, showcase their firepower and their practice, starting to pull ahead. Only by 3 rounds though. It's not a massive deficit.
Not a massive deficit by any means, and this is where we, maybe see things be a difference maker. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the first time these teams met on Ascent, it was a much more dominant half for nearest airport on their attacker side, and then it was TSM who was actually forced to make that comeback, bring it into overtime, and win the game. So maybe more preparation going into this. That's the difference between these top-end teams, is if you give them just a little bit of information, these coaches, these analysts, they know how to dive so deep into it, make sure it never happens again, and it's going to be nearest airport back on that eco bias. I like this. I like Calypso trying to be that aggressor. I'd love to see nearest airport, put some pep in their step, but there's 7 once again. How do you play against it?
Oh, look, they're on a pretty crappy buy right now, so they're going to have to try their best. As I always say, when you're on an eco, do the PRX thing. Quantity over quality, and individually they will follow these pistols. Just don't stand a chance of what TSM has. And also, fun to point out as well, 3 rounds for nearest airport. Like 2, the bulk of it was from them winning the pistol and then the subsequent second. But other than that, during the main rounds, buy rounds, TSM, they've had full control.
They have had full control, but once again, this comes down to TSM's aggression on defense.
Nice.
I think that's kind of the death of nearest airport on this map, is they play such a slow and methodical playstyle, reacting to everything the defense do. So if you're the one pushing up against that wall, it just slowly becomes the death of you round in and round out. And Leviathan about to meet up with Corey.
30 seconds left.
Ooh, a little sneaky position. Precision might just be first to go down. Unless they have an idea here. No, they're just going to hold the angles. Try to go for some exits. What's the bet here that Corey just randomly sprays? Or just does that. Never mind. The spike down. Corey, he's getting a lot of value out of that Champion's Phantom. And finally, Governor, being a sneaky little rat from behind, picks up Corey. There is a Phantom as well. And here comes TSM to make sure he doesn't save it. But Governor gets 1 for his troubles before getting shut down by Sabrosa. Once again, charging up the Rolling Thunder just before the half ends.
Just before the half ends, it's a major ultimate to have at your disposal. GMD gonna still have that divide. We haven't actually seen it get popped, I believe, for TSM. I think it's
once.
What
Oh, wait, you're
yeah,
right,
no, that was
defensive,
that was Anderson who pulled out the ultimate for Nearest Airport earlier in the game on that B side. I just think it's the fact that there's no real need for it. We've only seen TSM in a retake one time, and that's where you're going to use an ultimate like that. So
Yeah.
maybe that heavy step over towards the B side once again, that's what NA is going to be looking for. Go back to where you found success, but TSM knows this, and Calypso diff 7.
Yet again, they saw Governor pop the Phoenix ulti, and that's the second time he's been forced to use it to save his life. The C's and Painter wombo combo. TSM, they saw what Governor's doing in the league, and they know exactly how to counter it. That's so punishing for him. Yes, B-side has been taken though, and amidst all that, Sabrosa, last player to fall. It was a bit messy by the rest of the team, but still, I really like to see that heads-up play.
I really like the fact that we saw NA even pull, one more round towards themselves. It's a potential for a 5-7 here, but TSM has just been playing their eco so well, it doesn't even matter. And I really feel like we see a world where they're going to try to get Sabrozar Corey an early orb. It could be a potential if there's no pressure on that A side. I would look at that minimap, expect Sabrosa to try to find that Rolling Thunder, because if that B pressure continues, they're going to really want that ultimate, as I guarantee they go back to that passive approach once again. Not trying to farm these clips over, but it's 7 on the aggress every time.
Oh, and look, it's just that. Oh, he was blinded? Okay, fair enough. I don't know what he saw. Maybe just pure instinct, and still took down Governor. Oh, guys, just like happened. His Phoenix, you want to like basically abuse the 6-point ulti, and he's not getting any opportunity. Corey, there we go again. Nice little ulti. Takes down Calypso. Finally, we see a kill off of it, and Rossi just blind firing with the Odin. Extra bullets, man. You can just waste it. And finally, TSM, they end the half 8-4. Pretty comfortable.
An 8-4 half, definitely beneficial, but, you look at Ascent as a defender-sided map, so it's kind of successful if you are nearest airport, but the composition is going to be the death of them. That Phoenix pick is so different from Raze. Corey was able to create so much pressure. He had 3 different showstoppers pulled in that half. For a Raze, 17-8, that is monumental to have that ultimate coming towards you so many times to delay a push or even set up that retake. And not only that, but the paint shells is such a great stall utility. You could just throw that outside of main and buy your team 2 or 3 seconds before anything does happen. So it's just beautifully played once again. Regardless, going into this pistol, we will see NA swapping over to the defender's side. TSM on attack and looking like they're favorite A at the moment. A little bit of a gravity well going to come out, but nothing going to come of it.
Rosa running for his life. Justin Leviathan as well, escaping with murder almost, but GMD will make him pay for a position. Be careful on the flash. 1 onto Rossi, tries to get the second, but once again, it's just tit and tat between these two teams on pistol rounds. GMD duking for his life. Here comes Corey, and GMD on 3. But however, the defense nearest airport is still here. 1 last kill. Governor finally chimes in just in time before GMD can run away with an ace. That would have been perhaps a nail in the coffin. Nearest airport still nipping at the heels on TSM.
Still nipping at the heels, and yeah, you take that as timing if you're Governor. Some teammates might say where you're at, make the rotation quicker. We had the information so early into the round that they're on the A side, but he comes in with picture-perfect timing, and GMD almost finds the flick to find the ace. If he finds that, you are 100% right, Digital. That has to be the nail in the coffin, as it's hard to come back from a monumental swing. But regardless, it's going to be NA on that force round. On defense, it just feels so much better. Calypso, Marshall in hand, not able to find the pick, but it allows Governor to step up.
Nice bait and switch. 7. His aggression kind of getting punished there. He thought he had a freebie big boba. Gonna happen though. Leviathan, the shock dart, a little bit late, but at least he can fall back and. Okay, never mind. The classic on Corey. This guy's a madman. He just does all the work by himself. Site's been taken more or less, and for all intents and purposes, nearest airport looking just to play retake. They're more than happy to give up the space and go for this retake pinch. But however, look at the TSM over towards short, and Corey, I was going to say, he's in a pretty aggressive position. Finally, he gets shut down. But yeah, it's a small win.
It's a small win, but TSM knows that there's 2 men on the flank. They're going on the aggress because of it. Such a smart play to take control of CT.
Oh my goodness, Sabrosa, there's a kill onto Calypso. This round suddenly really winnable now. 3v3, a couple of good headshots is all it takes. And Rossi point blank with the classic, but unfortunately, the challenge is Anderson. That's not what you want. GMD by himself yet again. And, well, look, I really had hopes and dreams. Well, it looks like the SMGs will reign supreme at the end of the day. The downside, though, nearest airport, they lost 3 players. TSM, despite being on an eco round with a couple of sheriffs and whatnot. They destroyed 3 players, got the spike down even, and I'll be honest, looks pretty comfortable.
I will say this is an exact mirror of the first half of this game, as we saw Nearest Airport find the pistol and then such an expensive round 2 as TSM's just prepared for it. That site hit was beautiful. They had the information, as we did see NA make the mistake. I don't want to call it a mistake. They burned the flash from Leviathan to check and make sure there wasn't that last man back coming from A main. Because they were forced to burn that utility and just make sure they weren't the ones who had somebody behind them, it gave all the info over to TSM, and they took that as the advantage to let's try to take over CT. But look at this push. It's spotted so early.
Yep, 7 sees 4, running down mid. I don't even know if they saw him. Surely they did,
They had
right?
to have seen him.
But TSM like, oh, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to run over towards the A site, set up for post-punk, close the doors, set up your util smokes, whatnot, and I don't know. Nearest Airport, they need a small miracle to bring this back. And supposedly, yet again, on the one-man mission, hands over a Vandal. I guess he was still trying to charge up the Rolling Thunder. It's, once again, just a really impactful ultimate. But GMD, okay.
The divide finally popped.
Cosmic divide. I guess they want to guarantee secure this round. 7, first to engage yet again, but he has to be careful. GMD, he gets stinked as well. They're in trouble. This is a full buy, the frag, and the molly. He is still holding on for dear life. 7 catches Calypso walking through the double doors. Leviathan yet to strike. 3 players out long. Nearest Airport just trying to do as much damage as they can right now to TSM just to make sure the next buy round is a little bit easier. 7 onto Leviathan. GMD goes down, and the remaining players of Nearest Airport maybe salvage a few guns, maybe die. Decision has a Vandal. I think someone does, but still, it's just a firefight up over towards mid. TSM, they won the round. At what cost? 3 players, 3 guns, gone.
I was going to say the exact same thing, Digital. Such an expensive round for them, and a great job from NA to have that flank pressure. At the second that round started, TSM was able to reveal that a potential 4-man flank was incoming as NA just barreled their way down mid. Something you never see at a top level like this, but it kind of worked out nicely for them as GMD, they forced out the divide on an eco round for NA, and the fact that the nade and molly didn't hit allowed him to sort of just sit outside of wine. If he didn't stay alive there, that honestly could have been a Nearest Airport round win, so you had to be thanking your lucky stars that the lineup didn't hit, as it's actually Sabros outside of mid this time.
Yaldron caught him though. 7 runs through, doesn't clear the corner. Leviathan getting a little freebie aftershock, forces Leviathan out into the open, and Anderson's there to back him up. The paint shells dunks him down yet again. It's so back and forth. It's just madness. It's lunacy right now. All on short. TSM finally they aggress onto the A side, but Anderson, there's the reload. And he jumps onto site. He may not know the end of smoke though, but GMD walks through first. Rossi gets caught, his pants down. Anderson 4-3. Corey has to save the day yet again. 1v3. But basically 1v1 on site right now. It's a game of cat and mouse. He's just a swing a little bit wider. Sponsor Anderson gets the headshot, but however, he takes quite a few blows to his body himself. 2 shots, 2 death. Spike down, no util. Yet another shot of precision, who's still on, by the way. Governor with the flash, a second one just for good measure, and Corey finally goes down. It came down to basically a 1v1 in that situation. It was a really good attempt, but Nearest Airport, they stabilize.
They stabilize, and it comes down to an unbelievable play on either side to open up tree like that. Rossi's Seeker forced Anderson to this position. They heard him drop, but the Astral Star was down. They got the missed timing, a massive 2K from Anderson. And not only that, but information gained that Corey had made his way onto site already. Able to find that bomb in the end. It was a close round, but Nearest Airport coming out on top for themselves. We do see so many ultimates available for them because of it. As Governor, apologize, a little bit difficult to remember the name as it is that Phoenix pop-up, but Governor has that run it back. I will say, when I have seen it on defense on Ascent, he's just going to run it outside of B at the start of the round, and he's already setting himself up for it, as he just wants that early pick, and it allows him to gain information. You're a glorified Skydog at that point, trying to gain info, but you could also kill him along the way, and as I say that, he has swapped his pressure over towards the A side, so maybe a more passive approach is TSM favoring A. Little do they know that's a 5-man stack outside of B, but the economy is a little bit scattered in their position, as a Seeker going to be the one to push them on the site.
Ooh. Leviathan,
Ooh, this-
the recon arrow. He sees so many players, but here comes the showstopper. Catches Corey in the air, stick shooting, and out comes 7, moonwalking into the barrel of Leviathan. He wants more, and he does get a 3rd. Rossi is here to back him up. Calypso as well. Things just got so messy. TSM, they get the site. Spike is down. That's 2v4.
GMD has this Odin in hand now because of it, so don't count him out of this situation. And there's the run it back. Such a great retake ultimate, but they don't spot out Rossi, and he fights one.
And before he gets safety as well, Calypso gets that frag. And finally, wow, look at this. Governor, you know, on the attack side, initially, the run back, he got countered pretty hard. But however, on defense, as he retakes, this guy's just having a blast of a time. The Flash is just establishing pure dominance and just making things look easy, I gotta be honest.
I will say I completely agree. He's really found himself on the defender side, which is a little bit surprising on that Phoenix. You don't expect it. I remember back in the day when Phoenix was one of those must picks on Haven due to the fact that that run it back was just such an easy A site entry, is where we really saw him at the top of his prime. He would take it back to, I believe, the first VCT run from 100 Thieves. Where was Asuna, who is just an unbelievable Phoenix player. It's great to see him back in the mix. It's definitely unique, but Calypso operator back in hand, and he's been the one on the aggress as these chambers just start trying to farm early picks, but 7 as well. The op shot gonna miss, but the teleport gonna come out, and the information gained that that op is on B side.
I'm surprised that the 2 and 4 section missed, but Leviathan though pulls out the Hunter's Fury, and that's a massive kill onto GMD. That's the smoke's gone for TSM now. They're going to have to go to either side. Dry, Sabrosa, but to get double teamed here. He goes for the util instead, and Governor shuts him down super quick and snappy. Well, TSM, yet again, down a few players, kind of similar to the last round in Nearest Airport. Giving them nothing to work with.
Giving them nothing to work with, as it seems NA has full control over this game at the moment. They knew exactly what was going to happen, as maybe they're the ones that did some VOD review themselves, as I feel like TSM sees the same composition coming into play, and it's like, hey, we shut them down on attack, we kind of have a free win, but NA has really changed their defense up. They're a much more passive team, reacting to everything TSM's doing, and it's leading them to consistent frags, and they're winning their fights every single time. They have to commit to this B side, as Phoenix... Apologize, Governor has this info.
Oh, Governor, what can he do for us? Only one before the trade. But however, his teammates are there to back them up. And 7, he is going crazy right now. 6 HP, makes it a 1v2. But this clutch scenario, it's going to be almost impossible. A single lick is going to bring him down. And he's still concerned. He's paranoid that there's still more players of the Nearest Airport on the A site. He doesn't have the info. We do. 10 seconds. The pressure's on. He has to go for a plant, and then he can set up. But however, he's taking a bit too long. Here comes the rotation over towards short. Leviathan, shock darts. Yes, he does. One straight one, and there you go. He's gonna toast 7 before the spike even goes down. Nearest Airport, they tie game with TSM.
Tie game with TSM and throw them on the half eco. We do see the timeout being called, and I'm pretty sure this might be the first timeout we've seen TSM FTX call. I believe it was only TSM Academy in their matchup that did throw the timeout their direction. So if you're even forcing this out, this is a big play here. Nobody digital, not a single person in stage 2 of the Premiership. Apologize, not a single team in the Premiership regular season stage 2 as well as playoffs has taken a single map away from TSM, even 2-0ing version 1 to secure their qualification into playoffs. It was an unbelievable series, but nobody has showcased that this team could bleed. They have something to prove, and they are trying to prove it once again, but Nearest Airport in the exact same boat. This will be a monumental win for them. Not only bringing them to winners finals, but basically securing themselves that minimum of a 3rd place finish, regardless of how things go. Is realistically, if you do make it to winners finals, you lose that match, you're in the 3rd place match. It's the way that it works, and it would be monumental for them to really, this is a showcase. This is a free agent team made up of ex-professional players looking for a home. If you're going to find yourself a home, it starts with taking down big dogs like TSM FTX in such a major tournament like this. As we do see them on that eco stacked towards the A side, I guarantee we're going to see Sabrosa throw out that Brimstone, I apologize, that Rolling Thunder from the breach, as a potential eco is here, and NA is stacked up perfectly for it. This could go exactly their direction to find them a win. Let's see how it all plays out.
They're going to go 8 mode, potentially. Okay, no, and A split for the time being, but yeah, there you go. I think Sabrosa, he is in position as well, despite them being on an eco. Just gonna throw the damn thing out, and his teammate's gonna pinch from short. Leviathan, he's stunned, and he should be dead to right. 7 starts it off. Corey as well, long distance. What the classic? Takes down Anderson? This guy is something else. TSM, they overrun the A side in a blink of an eye, and there's only 2 players left of Nearest Airport. That attack timeout from Juvenile did wonders for this team.
I told you that Rolling Thunder is going to come up massive, and then the timing from 7 outside a tree, and Sabrosa is still on the hunt. A great play from him, and they're trying to hunt down this operator. This is A massive round for TSM. Sabrosi, you gotta find it. He's looking for Calypso. He pulled the operator away. He's going for it. He's able to find one. Looking for two. The op is out. Calypso gonna be able to find one. But Rossi is right behind. The thrifty round win for TSM FTX to deny the lead for Nearest Airport. We saw them in the lead at the beginning of this game. It was a 2-0 at one point, but it was a 2-0. So as soon as you got those rifles in hand, TSM took control of the game, and it's just gonna be timeout right back the other way. It's unfortunate for Nearest Airport, but I feel like they maybe could have guessed that Sabrosa has the Rolling Thunder. It was going to be popped. There was still room for buys. Yes, it's a little bit crazy that Corey was able to come out with one kill on that that classic. I apologize, 2 kills, one with the Stinger, one with the classic directly afterwards. But regardless, this is a more back and forth game than I ever thought it would be. Digital, I don't know about you.
I'll be honest. Yeah. Nearest Airport, just on paper. Well, look, I'll be honest, both teams are good, but today for TSM, it just seems that Corey and Seven, they're kind of having monstrous games, but Nearest Airport just being steady, and especially on the defense side, they really found their groove and being able to, well, just be a bit proactive, shall I say. But TSM on the attack now for the past few rounds. They've been just a little bit slower instead of being aggressive. And I guess after that attack timeout, they decided to pull out a strat, you know. And I guess Nearest Airport, they just really weren't prepared for that fast aggression, despite the slightly weaker buy coming out from TSM. But now, you said earlier, the attack timeout from Nearest Airport as well, late game. You got to use it at some point. Better late than never. But look, TSM, they have the lead. And they should have the confidence now after that very dominating, decisive round win. Just hoping they can carry through the momentum.
I think they will be able to in Phoenix. Trying to go on the aggress. He is 2 away from that running back, but Governor just going to take the step away as they actually gain early information, but look over at B. Oh, he throws out the Owl drone. I thought the aggress was coming, and Rossi actually able to escape Leviathan's information gathering here, so they have no idea that he's still on this B side. He might get perfect timing. That opens it up.
Ooh. Okay, the little big rotation from TSM just to move off of A over towards B. Maybe took the ult orb and whatnot, get those small things.
Nearest Airport.
So that's an issue. He hasn't pushed down mid just yet. Not that he should, but this is precious intel that Nearest Airport don't have. It's going to be Leviathan solo. Here's some util, and maybe the recon arrow, well timed, can get a few kills. But scans a few players, and there you go. He picks up one, looking for more. Just spray it down, Rage onto Rossi as well. So Bros with the refrag, but TSM, they haven't seen anyone just yet. Calypso, what was that? Did he even walk out the smoke? TSM, they're taking 3 players down. Spike finally gets planted, but this is a massive blow. Corey, what do you have? 4 arms to flash from Governor, maybe a second to follow as well. It's a one-man mission for Corey, but this guy is not to be underestimated. He's a complete freak, the dink, and finally, it's all on his shoulders. He will fall, but by God, they put up a fight. Nearest Airport once again tying game with TSM.
Tying the game, bringing it back their direction. I was going to say before that site hit Digital, it seemed like Nearest Airport was playing so scared they didn't want to get caught out because they knew that that was a decider round. If TSM wins that, then economy-wise, they basically just win the game long-term. And they were able to bring it back. I like the hit. I like the original push outside of B, even from Leviathan. And due to the fact that he didn't gain info, actually benefited him in the end. He was able to go to a better position for that hit. Normally, you see him outside of mid-market. So if he doesn't find info with the Owl drone, I apologize. If he does find info with the Owl drone, he's probably sitting outside of mid-market and not outside of B main. Puts him in a position where he's not even able to find those first 2 frags. A little bit lucky on the side of NA. I don't want to call it lucky, but 3 frags through the smoke. You got to be thanking your lucky stars that it did go your direction, but the economy is still even, and Anderson gets caught out.
Okay, finally, Precision did shut down Corey before he could get away with too much of the aftershock, though. Precision, he slowed. What a little gravity well as well. That's just a nice little good piece of wombo combo kill. Governor, bear in mind, he does have the runner back, and there we go, pops it out. The flash does get judged. Governor with the second to brother shuts him down. TSM, they strike right back into the faces of Nearest Airport. And this post-plant defense looking pretty solid. Calypso though starts off nicely onto 7. Governor, the flame wall manages to get onto site, but he's not convinced just yet. No flashes to work with, so he can't push out that willy-nilly. His teammates aren't out just yet. They're taking this very slow, and TSM, they have more time to set up as well. There's the fault line, and that's massive from Rossi. Leviathan spraying bullets with the Odin. Catches players. were through the walls and whatnot. 11 to nearest airport, and I think this is the first time they've taken the lead.
This is the first time they've had the lead since the pissed around into the force at the beginning of the game, and I want to say it's down to Leviathan. Leviathan's playing an unbelievable game at the moment. It doesn't, I was going to say it doesn't look like it, but 19 and 16 on Sova. We saw it was Governor at the beginning of the defender's side to really find himself, but some people, they just pop off with that Odin, and Leviathan is one of them. Not only is it just the Odin in hand, but it's the patient pressure that he creates. He's usually that last man back, providing so much crucial utility for his team on these retakes, and then to have that extra firepower to back it is just so beneficial. But still, somehow, TSM's economy is in a decent spot. It's only Sabrosa and 7 is going to be lacking a little bit, but the ultimates are online. They have the Showstopper, they have the Rolling Thunder, and GMD with the Divide, as Leviathan, for the side of nearest airport, has that Hunter's Fury and Precision with the Null Command. Major pieces of utility available on either side, but there's Sabrosa once again, throwing that Rolling Thunder over on A site.
Nice flash as well. Sabrosa doing wonders, setting up his team, and the assist and whatnot. Hunter's Fury, though. Calypso gets it onto Sabrosa. Leviathan, was that damage? I do think it was. And shoots one out over towards B just for good measure. But TSM doubling down over towards the A side off of the Cosmic Divine as well. 7. He's gonna go aggro, isn't he? 2 players of TSM go over towards short, and the door is closed. This is gonna be a really precarious scenario for them. Time, a lot is ticked away. Corey pops out the Showstopper just for pressure, but he's blinded by Governor yet again. Precision with the kill. GMD has so much to do here over towards short. 1 kill onto Leviathan. Buy more time. They have to deal with this problem. That's GMD before they even address onto the side. Rossi, the triple spray down with the Phantom before Calypso takes him down. 1v1. Calypso so healthy. GMD a lick away from dying. Pros don't fake. GMD isn't swinging just yet. He's not convinced, but Calypso, someone's running short, and just as he swings away, GMD goes for the kill, and a wall bang from Calypso, but it wasn't half defused. They've lost the round. TSM strike right back.
Oh my goodness, what a round. This is giving me flashbacks to Zero Marksman versus Sonics. That was so back and forth, but in the end, I think GMD's pressure was so monumental here. You even said it, Digital. He was a nuisance on this backline, and it forced every member of nearest airport to focus on that, and Rossi able to just frag out, but Calypso throws one back for himself. Unlucky timing, as Calypso maybe could have stuck this the entire time. You said pros don't fake, and he's maybe thinking he could have stuck at GMD. Not able to find the kill, but he finds the round for TSM. And this is the difference in long-term economy and how well TSM is actually playing it. Even with ultimates, they didn't burn the Nightfall there, so it's available for this crucial round for them once again. And nearest airport on the eco buy, as TSM is hunting down match point. It's at their fingertips, Digital. It's right in front of them.
It's just the nature of the beast of the economy game in Valorant. Sometimes nearest airport, they won 2 rounds back to back, and then they lost 1 after losing guns and whatnot, and now they're just basically flat broke going into match point. They need a small miracle to, you know, win this round. And Calypso, he snuck down really deep at TSM. Look how much respect they're giving nearest airport right now. They're taking it super slow. And Sabrosa checks his own angle. Of course, he knew someone was going to be there. Calypso first to go down. And oh dear, nearest airport, it just gets harder from here.
It's very difficult for them, but they took the correct bet. Everything is stacking their direction. Leviathan on a very unique... Oh, I thought he was going to go in on the flank, but he does just meet up outside a tree, but the utility is there, and that's going to be the site hit.
Frag, just to buy time for the rotation to come through. They're all grouped up here. It's a pretty fat choke point. A shock dart for some damage to Leviathan. He will finish off Sabrosa. Out comes Precision. Only 1. And then the classics. Here comes the pistols. They're doing so much damage nearest airport. They prove, even with weaker guns, they can do so much damage. Rossi got to run for his life. Governor throwing out the flashes and the double swing. Rossi, 20 seconds. He doesn't really have a choice anymore. He has to commit to the A side, and nearest airport know that. But Rossi, he's gone monumental in previous few rounds. He can do it yet again, but he doesn't even get a single headshot. Anderson shuts him down 2 to the body. Match point for nearest airport on a pistol round.
On a pistol round, we saw TSM find a massive thrifty. That was a momentum turnaround for them in this game, and we didn't see nearest airport found theirs. They just found theirs, Digital. They were those guys, and now they're the guys with the big guns in hand. If they're able to take this round, they take map 1 away from TSM and finally showcase here in the Premiership that this team can bleed. They are human, but do we see another thrifty go their way? Because Rossi didn't pull the Nightfall. It's still available to them. They swap the pressure to the B side. Is Leviathan, he just assumes they're going towards A once again. He's going to throw out this info gathering, but that was only, what, 5 to 10 shots with an Odin and maybe a free B side ahead of TSM with ultimates online.
But last time, Leviathan had no vision and still took down 2 players and his teammates as well. Calypso, the exact same story. TSM, they can't just push onto the B side with no info or kills. Willy-nilly, here comes Leviathan yet again. Massive grabs him up, but he's not spun just yet, but he can still go for a wallbang. Leviathan, there you go, yet again. He doesn't even need a direct line of sight. TSM, they do walk onto the sites, but look, they can get the spike down for sure, but post-plant situation with these weaker guns, it's gonna be so difficult for them to deal with the tsunami that's gonna be nearest airport. Although 7 does take down Governor. The flashes aren't out of the equation for the time being. There's still a KO flashes, sure, but damage has been done.
Look at
Frozen,
Rossi!
what do you have for us? Sabasi! Oh, I thought he got the headshot. I don't know, the camera switched so quickly. GMD, 2 players, nothing he can do. Rossi, the Nightfall, but he has a freaking stinger. There's nothing he can do. Calypso, with the final kill, 13-11, nearest airport. It's not an upset. It went the distance. And in the final, very end, the economy game just went in favor of nearest airport off of that single thrifty round win. Highway robbery. They